me, I would pretty much travel with any of those people. Any day. Well, welcome. Welcome to Sunday morning. It's Youth Sunday. I love Youth Sunday. And we have Royer Shelton, who's going to be singing with us. He's going to be the first vocalist with us today. So we're going to sing Lean on Me, but we're going to do the 80s version. So wait for the synthesizer. Here we go. Yeah, that one. Here's your... Oh, yeah. Club Nouveau. All right, take it away, Roy.
At times in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong. Said I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. Lean on me when you're not strong. Said I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. Said I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. We be jam on, we be jam on. Is that late? We be jam on. We be jam on, we be jam on. We be jam on.
Just call me.
Just call me.
When you need a friend.
Call me.
Open up now.
Call me.
When you need
Just
a friend.
call me.
Well done.
All right, everyone, Royer and our incredible band. So, Barry, why are we here today?
We're here for Youth Sunday. Are we pumped? So glad that you're here today, and it's so good to have kids back in the sanctuary, isn't it? So yeah, we've been waiting for this for a long time. So we're glad that you're here this morning. All those of you joining us online, glad that you're here too. And we are going to have some fun. I can guarantee you that. And this is my friend Stacy Butters, who is the director of our youth ministry.
Thank you. Thank you. My heart is so happy that we have brought Youth Sunday back. Some of these kids have been waiting 2 years to be able to share with you today, so we're excited.
Yeah, so we're going to start our service the way that we always do. We're going to begin with our vision and our mission. So if you'll say it with me. Our vision, oneness revealed, a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. and our mission to serve as a spiritual beacon for personal empowerment and global enlightenment. Yeah, so that's why we're here. That's what we're up to today. And so now we would just invite you to settle back, settle in, and move to center. And we're going to begin with a little music and a prayer. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Just taking this moment to drop into our heart center, to check into that divine center, that connection with the oneness that's inside of us, that connection with the beautiful not-to-ness that we all have, the connection to the infinite joy, beauty, and glory that we all have, that oneness that connects us all. Consciously just bringing our awareness there. And while we're here in this center of concentrated awareness, this concentration of spiritual and emotional power, let's bring our awareness to our youth in this community. Everyone from the toddlers up until 18 years old. Blessing them with love and joy. All of our volunteers and ministers, everybody that works with our youth here. And while we're here, let's bring our awareness and love to the rest of the youth in Denver. Because we're all in this together. Blessing all of the parents, all of the teachers. Now bringing our awareness to everyone in Colorado. All of our youth. Just blessing them. As we move outward to the entire country of youth, just learning. Moving out farther than that to every race, every belief system across the world of youth just living together, learning this world. Blessing them. Now bringing our awareness back into this present moment, back into this community, our connection with each other. And how beautiful that is, that we get to live in this community together. Blessing everybody on this stage, knowing that everybody is going to say exactly what they need to say at the exact right moment, bringing ourselves into the center so we can hear exactly what we need to hear. as we bring our awareness back into this community, back to our youth, back to the volunteers, back into this very moment, to your seats, knowing this is done and exactly the way it's supposed to be. We say it together, and so it is.
The children know without knowing all the hows or whys. There's a wisdom in their eyes. The children see the world the way it ought to be. Do we realize we are building their world, choosing the way? Decisions we are making now go far beyond today. Like ripples on the water, what we do goes on and on. That's the legacy we leave when we are gone. We are building their world with heart and dreams of stone, giving them our very best for the world they'll call their own. We are giving them tomorrow. Nothing greater can we give than a better way to grow and learn and live. Children have a wisdom, it's the wisdom of the heart. They know the way that home's supposed to feel. Children have a vision, it's in their simple art. Is there some way to make that vision real?
My name is Zimrini, and I'm 9 years old. Our words of inspiration today come from Paramahansa Yogananda. We say that God is invisible to us, but in reality, He is visible in the mighty, manifested universe. God is everything, not just one thing.
I am Ruby. I am 8 years old from Alan Watts. Stay in the center and you'll be ready to move in any direction. And from Marianne Williamson. In every community, there is work to be done. In every nation, there are wounds to heal. In every heart, there is power to do it.
I'm Declan. I'm 10 years old.
This is a poem I wrote in class called Where I'm From. I am from my stuffy pile, from state parks and grandma. I am from the backyard and the front, green, lively, and hot as lava. I am from the forest, trees, animals, and plants. Je viens des parents qui parlent français, in a family that enjoys eating. I am from camping and swimming, from the hiking family and playing with friends. I am from the mountain city and the calling rainforest. I am from my memories of the best dog Linus and my snuggling stuffies.
Well, I think it's fine building jumbo planes, taking a ride on a cosmic train. Switch on summer like a slot machine. Yes, you get what you want if you want it, 'cause you can get anything. I know we've come a long way, we're changing day to day. But tell me, where did the children play? Well, we roll on roads over fresh green grass for your lorry loads, pumping petrol gas, and you make them long and you make them tough, but they just go on, and it seems like you can't get enough. I know we've come a long way, we're changing day to day, but tell me, where do the children play? Well, you crack the sky, scrapers fill the air, but will you keep on building higher till there's no more room up there? And you make us laugh, will you make us cry? Will you tell us when to live? Will you tell us when to die? Oh, I know we've come a long way, we're changing day to day, but tell me, where do the children play? Do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do.
Tom Litch, the Mile High All-Stars, thank you guys for putting all this music together and for the music that's yet to be. Bijou, Mike, Stu, Rob Lowe over there driving the bus on the piano. Thank you. Thank you much. So yeah, here we are, Youth Sunday. I'm gonna turn this on and see what happens. Oh my goodness. I'm always a little surprised when this works. All right, so here we are. Yeah, so welcome everybody to Youth Sunday. It's so good to be here today and to see some kids back on the platform. It's been a while, hasn't it, since we've had some kids here? And So it's good to have them, and it's just good to have their energy in the room, and so great to hear somebody standing up on a box and talking about Paramahansa Yogananda and Alan Watts. Oh my goodness, yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. So yeah, so the main reason I'm here today is because it's my granddaughter's birthday, and she's 1 year old. I know what a lot of you are thinking, boy, it would have been great if you would have remembered to bring some pictures, you know? That would have been great, but unfortunately, well, maybe I did. Here we go. So this is Ruby Ebert right here, 1 year old today, and so glad that she's with us. Somebody's in the room today named Ruby who's 3 months old today, too. So we're attracting rubies. There she is. She's already taken over the house, and she's getting along pretty good with her grandpa, too. So, yeah, so that's Ruby. Happy birthday, Ruby. And I want to talk today about moving to center, because in the time that we're in, we're kind of bombarded by news from the far left and the far right, and the weirder and the stranger that news is, the more of it we get. That sensationalism and that anxiety and that kind of, wow, did somebody really say that? Yeah, and we've got to hear it over and over again. And so there's a lot of that going on. And for some reason, we get this thing on our email that if we'll just send $7 by midnight tonight, everything's going to be okay. So there's just a lot of that going on. And so what I want to talk about is moving to center, about finding our center in a spiritual place. And I think that that's what we're about here on Sunday mornings. And, you know, the thing of the left and the right, both politically and socially, is something that's always been going on. It's just part of our nature. It's been going on since the beginning. We saw it at the forming of the country. One of my greatest influences has been Ralph Waldo Emerson, and been a great influence on our teaching here. And we think of him as a spiritual leader, but he talked some about politics in his time, too. He wasn't a real fan of politics, but he knew he had to get involved. He said, it is impossible to extricate yourself from the questions in which your age is involved. You can no more keep out of politics than you can keep out of the frost. And I love that. He was dealing with the issue of slavery, moving towards the Civil War when people just could not get along and everyone was entrenched in their own opinions, politically and socially. Women were struggling for the right to vote. He was in the middle of that. And yet there was an urge to stay in his spiritual center, and he did a lot of writing about that. And I think that's what's important for us today. We can't escape the issues of today, and they're important. By moving to center, I don't mean moving to the middle of the road where we don't have opinions about things. There are things that we're passionate about, things that we care about deeply, things that are important to us, and we need to be involved in those things. What I'm talking about is living in our spiritual center, in our God center, of getting our information from there, knowing that our true source of information is a living spirit that's alive in us right now. And I think if we're going to move to center, what we have to do most of all is to seek God first, to put God in first position in our lives. You know, I love teaching classes here, teaching our Science of Mind and Spirit classes. I'm just finishing one up now. It's called Beyond Limits, which is our introductory class. And whenever I'm teaching this class, the first week, we always talk about this relationship we have with God. What's that like? What's your relationship with God like? What do you think about this relationship? After I'm talking for a few minutes, I'll say, how many of you in here, when I'm just mentioning the word God, get kind of an uneasy feeling? Quite a few hands always go up. And I know what they mean. There's some people in here that would raise their hands on that question. Because a lot of us grew up with kind of an angry, judgmental, distant God who's living on a mountaintop someplace. Always seemed to be a little bit ticked off, especially on Sunday mornings. And so the idea of having a relationship with this dude was not foremost in our minds. That's not something we were looking for. So one of the things that's important to us is to kind of clarify what this relationship might be, who this God is. One of the things it says in the Gospel of John is that God is love, and those who dwell in love dwell with God. And whatever concept we have of God, or whatever concept we may have learned when we were growing up, it's bigger than that. God is bigger than that, masculine and feminine, and grounded in love, and available to us. Paramahansa Yogananda, there he is again. He said this about God. First, you must have a right concept of God, a definite idea through which you can form a relationship with him. And then you must meditate and pray until that mental conception becomes changed into an actual perception. Then you will know him. If you persist, the Lord will come. So let's be open to that. Let's be open and seek God first. Another thing I get to do here, which I really love, is to teach about the Bible. And the more I dig into the Gospels, the more I realize the incredible time that Jesus showed up on this planet, and the political divisions and the social divisions that were alive in the world that he stepped into. His tribe, the Jewish tribe, was occupied by Rome. Jerusalem, Judea, Israel, all occupied by Rome. And there was an uneasy tension between the Jewish people and their occupiers, naturally. And there were people who wanted to rebel against the Romans, and they wanted Jesus to lead them. There were other people who wanted to maintain the status quo, and there was tension between the far right and the far left. And there's a famous story in the Bible when some men come to Jesus and they ask him a question. Or should we be paying taxes to the Romans? Should the Jews be paying taxes to the Romans? And wouldn't that be a great question at a press conference? Jerusalem Times, Jesus, I got a question for you. Should we, and it was one of those questions where no matter what he answered, he was going to be in trouble with somebody. And we see a lot of those questions, don't we? Where there's no easy answer. And of course, he came up with a great answer. Hand me a coin. Whose picture is on that coin? Well, that's Caesar's picture. Well, then let's give to Caesar the things that are Caesar's. Give to God the things that are God's. That's a pretty good answer. And over the years, it's been interpreted in many ways that maybe that meant if we're followers of Jesus, we don't have to pay taxes. Maybe that's what he meant. Or that we don't really participate in the government in that way if we're followers of Jesus. I think what he meant was to participate in your community, in your government, do the things that you're passionate about, move towards social change, move towards justice, but keep God in the first position. Your heart, your soul, and your mind belong to God. Never forget that. So let's seek God first. One of my favorite authors and ministers was a guy named Harry Emerson Fosdick. He was a minister in New York City for many years, the Riverside Chapel. He wrote a great book called The Guide to Understanding the Bible. And he talks about the evolution of thought in the Bible. And this is what he said about Jesus and the change that Jesus made in the world. Jesus, God, was revealed not so much in the words he used about him, but by the way he lived with him. I love that. He transformed the people around him as they watched him live with God and to seek God first. And so another thing I think that's important is for us to focus on the things that are important. We have become, because of cell phones, we are incredibly interruptible. You can be interrupted at any time. It's no wonder a lot of us have ADD. What? It's just we're constantly interruptible, available. We're supposed to be available all the time. And there's just a lot of anxiety because of that. And how do we focus on the things that are important? How do we know what's important? Well, I think that's the gift of having our minds. Our minds are very powerful, and they can keep us centered on the things that are important. I believe that we teach that here. Do we still teach that here? We do. All right. It's Josh and Michelle back there keeping an eye on me. And they're like the guys in the Muppets who sit up there, you know what I mean? Statler and Waldorf, yeah. I know it. That's what they are. So focusing on the things that are important, that's a big part of being in center and moving to center. A part of our curriculum here always is the work of Stephen Covey. He wrote a book called First Things First, which I know many of us have read. And he talked about the things that are urgent in our lives and the things that are important in our lives and knowing the difference. And he put this kind of quadrant thing together of those 4 places. And there's the things in quadrant 1 that are urgent and important. Like if a fire is moving towards your house and you just have time to get your guitars and your baseball cards and get out of there. That's urgent and important, right? There's other things that are urgent but not important, like all those things that are buzzing on your phone from other people trying to get you to solve their problems. Those have a sense of urgency, but they're not necessarily important. The news is incredibly urgent all the time, 24/7, and it's just wearing us out. But we have to decide what's important in our lives. Then there are things that are neither urgent nor important, like video games and social media and all our other forms of distraction that we use. We call that quadrant 4, the things that are neither urgent nor important. But up there in quadrant 2 are things that are important but not urgent. And we want to spend as much time in that quadrant as we can. That's where meditation and exercise live. They're not urgent, but man, are they important. When Stephen Covey was on tour promoting this book, what he would do is he would get up on the stage and he'd have this table in front of him. He'd have a gallon jar, a glass jar up there, empty jar. And out on the table he would have lots of items to go in the jar. Some big rocks, some smaller rocks, some pebbles, some gravel, sand, pitcher of water. He was going to try and get them all into this jar. And as he kept talking, he kept putting the things into the jar to kind of demonstrate. And he put the big rocks in first, and then he would put the smaller rocks in, and they would kind of find their way down, and then the gravel, and then the sand, and then the water, and we'd get them all in there. Everybody cheer. And the point of it was that if you don't put the first items as big rocks, if you don't put them in first, there's not going to be room for them later. And there's a good way to illustrate the way that our life works. If we don't put the most important things in our life first, our spiritual work, our family, our relationships, the things that bring us joy, the things that bring us fulfillment, the things that we're passionate about, if we don't put those first in our lives, we're not going to get around to them. And our lives are going to be filled with anxiety and tension from the world coming at us. So I think knowing what's important in our lives and bringing that into the top is what's very important for us. Get the big rocks into the jar. Another thing that I think that's important about living in our center is staying open to Spirit. Staying open to what Spirit has in mind for us. You know, a couple weeks ago, Mark Nepo was here with Dr. Roger. How many of you came to see that? It was just amazing, wasn't it? Wasn't it a great night? Mark Nepo said something that I will always take with me. He said, our minds are an inlet, not a container. Our minds are an inlet, not a container. We need to remain open all the time to what Spirit has in mind for us, to keep ourselves centered so that we're available to Spirit. We're available to our intuition and our deeper wisdom. Our minds are an inlet for that. You know, about a little over 30 years ago, my buddy Dr. Patty and I started a thing called Rainbow Day Camp here. Being good Baptists and growing up with Vacation Bible School, we decided that we would do that. So it was basically founded on peanut butter and kickball, and it's grown since then. But one of the highlights every year of Rainbow Day Camp for the kids is to go into Dr. Patty's teepee and learn how to jump to center. And the kids get in there, and she talks to them about getting their feet planted on the ground and their hands over their heart. And no matter how crazy the day has been and no matter how wild it's been for them running around, they can jump to center. And we use that phrase during the week. All right, everybody jump to center. And it's just affirming that there's a place in us that knows. There's a place in us that is calm, that is connected with the living Spirit. Right now, always. We do that here every Sunday morning when we do Surely the Presence together. You can feel it. We can feel it in this room. We come in. There's all this going on. People are meeting each other and seeing each other, and it's so good to be back together again. We sit in here, and then the chimes ring, and we start. We can just feel ourselves calming down and moving into center and affirming the presence of God. And we do that in day camp every morning. We get in there, there's over 100 kids in the room. Teen leaders, adult leaders, presenters, helpers, teachers, parents. And the room's just buzzing with activity and all the things that are going to be happening during the day. And there's just so much joy and everything going on in the room and so many details going on. And then either Tom or I will start playing the beginning of Surely the Presence on the guitar. And you can just feel the room gradually moving to silence. In just a few moments, the whole room is silent. And then we're singing together. And we're signing the song. And then we're praying together and opening to the possibilities of the day, what Spirit has in mind for us. And I think moving to center, learning how to jump to center in our lives, no matter what is going on, all the things that are coming at us from different directions. One of the greatest gifts that we have is our ability to jump to center. You know, I remember many years ago, I was in one of our Sunday school rooms talking to a bunch of 5-year-olds. This is where I get most of my wisdom, by the way. A bunch of kids in the circle there, and I just got done singing Surely the Presence with them, and we were sitting around talking, and I said, where do you think I could sing that song? Where would be a good place for me to sing that? This one 5-year-old boy said, you can sing that song anywhere. That's the truth. That's the truth. So we carry that with us, that sense of center and that ability to jump to center. It's always with us. No matter how rattled we might get out in the world, no matter what information we're taking in, we have the ability to jump to center. So let's remember that. Last thing I wanted to talk about today was, if we're going to move to center, if we're going to live there, we need to embrace change. And I know that's a tough one right now, because a lot of us are thinking, oh, I've had enough change. I'm filled with change, dude. I want to go back to normal, okay? I want to go back to normal. But it doesn't really work that way. But we've been going through a lot of change in the last year and a half. You know, it was exactly 1 year today when the election was finally certified. And no matter how you feel about that, doesn't it seem like that was a long time ago? And there are more changes heading our way, politically, socially, personally. We actually went through a year with no election. Wow, what a gift that was. But there are more changes coming. I know that. And we need to be prepared for those things. And we can live in our center as we go through those things. And as far as going back to normal, life doesn't really work that way. We're moving forward, and we want to be confident moving forward. You know, one of the traditions that we have at our house is whenever one of our sons comes to stay for a while, we throw the coins of the I Ching together, and we each throw our coins, and we gather some wisdom from this book that's over 3,000 years old. It's been carried down through the generations as a way of gathering wisdom for so many different people. And so our son Gabe was in town with his sweetheart Danya, and it was the last night in town, so we all got around the table and we threw the coins. And there's always so much wisdom that goes back and forth as we talk about our lives and the changes that we're in, each of us individually, and the point of change that we're in. And the book of changes really is based on the premise that life is always changing and allows us to bring our focus there. So we all threw the changes. We talked about them, and I went last. And what showed up for me was, after completion, the transition from the old to the new time is already accomplished. After completion, the transition from the old to the new time is already accomplished. And that was the perfect throw for me, the perfect throw. Because I've been working here with the youth ministry for over 30 years, a place where I put so much of my time, my energy, my heart, my passion, my love. And that time is accomplished now, it's completed. And a little while ago when we had our trunk or treat out in the parking lot, which is really just an excuse for kids to get a big bag of candy, but a lot of the kids came by with their parents, and I just realized there were so many kids there that I'd baptized, or kids that had been to Rainbow Day Camp, kids that I knew and kids that knew me. There was kids that I'd seen growing up here that had their own kids, and they introduced them to me, and it was such a good thing. You know, and here we are today celebrating kids here in the youth ministry. And it's been such a good thing for me to have great people to hand this youth ministry off to. Stacy Butters puts up with me at a time like this, when we're doing a service like this, and we still get together and talk about stuff. But I've handed it off to her and to a great staff to keep it going. And I know, without any reservation, that this stage will be filled with kids once again when this virus is over. And we'll be celebrating with a huge group of kids. But changes are an inevitable part of life. No matter who we are, what age we are, we can embrace those changes. And know that at the center of who we are, God lives. God is alive. God is holding us through all the changes. God is available to us if we turn in that direction, if we come to ourselves. So there's nothing to fear with change. God is alive right now. Not a God who was, but a God who is. I want to close with a quote from our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, what he said about change. We must learn to trust in the universe. God is always God. No matter what our emotional storm or what our objective situation may be, there is always something in our inner being which has never been violated. We may stumble, but there is always that eternal voice forever whispering within our ear, that thing which causes the eternal quest, that thing which forever sings and sings. That's the truth about all of us this morning. Let's jump to center right now. I invite our practitioners to stand with me as we fall into our hearts. And I open right now to the presence of the living Spirit that is alive in this room right now, is live, moving through the airwaves to anyone within the sound of my voice. There is a power, a wisdom, a love, a joy that is available to us if we turn to it. It awaits our recognition. This is our center. This is our true home. So I give thanks. I give thanks for this beloved community. I give thanks for this amazing container that we create together where our children can grow, where all of us can grow stronger, wiser. I know that we have come to this place at this time to contribute, to work together to make our culture stronger and more just and more open-hearted. This is our work. We operate from the center. And I bless these beautiful children this morning that continue to grow with Spirit. So it is.
With Spirit, handle me with care. Give me water that is clean and fresh air. Give me love and understanding, and I'll give you back the same. We're all in this soil together, don't you know? Oh, growing with Spirit, here we grow. Oh, growing with Spirit, here we grow.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Barry. Someone who can speak from the heart for sure. So I'm so grateful that this is my time that I get to spread a little gratitude with you. The community that we have with our youth and all of the different kids that are attached to our community in so many different ways, their families, and we kind of consider you honorary members of our youth community because of the energy that you bring in your support of us. In fact, we even managed to sneak some of our youth into the room. All right, teens, stand up. And you don't run a program of this quality, of this size, with the diversity of things that we're able to do without a lot of volunteers. You saw up in the slideshow, we do a lot of cool stuff around here. We do camps, we do activities, we do service projects. And when you run a program that goes from birth up through teens, it takes quite a few people to make that happen. So just huge, huge appreciation for all of the people that support our youth programming and are volunteering with us. And then along with that comes youth staff. We have what I consider to be the best youth staff that a church could ask for, which includes Addison with our youngest kids, Jason down in the teen underground with middle school and high school, Salwa, who really handles everything, and Claire, who is supporting those elementary kids with us. And then we are so blessed to have Nadine, Reverend Nadine, here with us. She has been in our middle school program for a while, and I can't think of anyone better who could really speak to what this youth program is about.
And Stacy Butters. Right? Yes. I sit in amazement of all that you do, okay? Yes. You hand a minister a microphone, and the minister thinks they know what they're going to say. They thought a little bit about it, and then, like Barry was saying, your mind is open. and then you get a download of something else. And so something else comes out, right? So I am a special focus minister, and I have dedicated 21 years to youth ministry. So the blessing for me, the gift for me has been to show up almost every Sunday for 21 years and show up specifically in middle school classes. It's been my gift to be with that kind of youth energy, that excitement, and never knowing what's going to happen, really. And also teaching teen classes, special teen classes like Beyond Limits, Spiritual Practice. I have been blessed. I also know that once I showed up here, I started out in kindergarten as a volunteer. And I know that there are some of you out here that maybe want to assist us with youth ministry, and we're wide open to receive you. I know that we're also going to build this youth ministry up bigger than it is right now because of COVID. But I will just say that the first Sunday that we were in the middle school room, the new middle school room that's in the Teen Underground, we had 48 kids. I don't know if you can imagine 48 6th, 7th, and 8th graders running around all at one time. I couldn't even figure out how to put the chairs. They were on the floor, they were standing up, they were zooming around, you know. I mean, that's what we had, and it was glorious. It was glorious. So I know we're going to build back, and it's going to be really big. I also want to say that because of all of your financial contribution to us from time to time, we have been able to have all ages in our ministry. We've got a preschool, goes all the way through young adults. I've been blessed to be able to watch my kids, they're mine, I call them mine, grow from little babies all the way up to young adults. Just like Barry said, everything Barry said I could echo because it's true for us. And this is an emotional service, I think, for us. It's probably emotional for Patty, too, because we work with kids. Why do we have a youth ministry? Because it grows this. It grows this. We have to keep it alive. So thank you for all that you have contributed to this. We have been so blessed. And now, since this is an offering time, a love offering time, I would ask you to take your contribution, hold it to your heart. If you were in kindergarten and you were in Sacred Circle, those children put whatever they have in the basket, and they go like this: heart, basket, heart, basket. So there's that love, there's that God. Okay, let us speak our affirmation together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate, and so it is.
Well, since it's Youth Sunday, we're going to be featuring Evan Wendt on one of my favorite songs. I know it's one of your favorite songs too. And here we go. I look at you all, see the love that is sleeping, while my guitar gently weeps. I look at the floor and I see it needs sweeping. Still my guitar gently weeps. I don't know why nobody told you I look at the world and I notice it turning while my guitar gently weeps. With every mistake we must surely be learning. Still my guitar gently weeps. I don't know why you were diverted, you were perverted too. I don't know how you were inverted, no one alerted you. I look at you all, see the love there that's sleeping. Still my guitar gently weeps. I look at you all, still my guitar gently weeps. I look at you all, still my guitar gently weeps. I look at you all, still my guitar gently weeps. Still my guitar gently weeps. I look at you all, still my guitar gently weeps.
Now that was a church song. Whoa, thank you, Evan, thank you. Wonderful job. Oh my gosh. I loved having the lights going. Just my wish for the day came true. Thank you, Rama, for starting that, and thank you all for playing along, and thank you for being here today for our wonderful youth service. Didn't they all do an amazing job? Yes. Even Dr. Barry over here, the brilliant one that he is. Yes. Thank you, thank you. Amazing, amazing.
Well, we are so thrilled that you all are here. And if you're here for the very first time in our sanctuary or online, we want to make you feel welcome. We hope that as a first-time guest, you can find out more about our community. You can either go to our website and discover more, or you'll find all sorts of literature in the lobby. And we have a welcome center. So if you're one of those guests who's willing to be welcomed in person, come to the welcome center in the center of the lobby today and allow us to welcome you formally and say hello and tell you more about our community. And we think we're a very welcoming church, don't we? So one way to live that out today, I'd suggest everyone say hello to 3 people you've never said hello to before, so that everyone here leaves having been talked to, seen. They're doing it right now. Look, they're doing it right now. I love it. They follow directions really well.
They do. I thought they went well.
Yeah, that went very well. So please take some time to welcome each other today, and thank you again for being here. If you would like to receive some wonderful prayer support, our practitioner prayer partners are right down front. Just come on down after the service is done, and they'll be happy to pray for you if you're having a challenge or if something's going really well and you want it to keep going well. That's what they're there for. Let's let them pray for us, okay?
So grateful again to these incredible youth for being here with us. So grateful for their parents for getting them here early and being there, and all of the parents of our youth. Thank you, Mr. Tom Litch, for helping to create this musical mosaic for us with fresh facial hair, everybody, today. Check this out.
Thank you, thank you. It grows when you cover it and water it. I just want to say, too, Stacy Landis helped prepare many of these youth. She leads the youth choir program and the adult choir program. And we could not have done this without you, so thank you, Stacy.
Thank you, Stacy. Hey, Dr. Barry, we got Thanksgiving coming up, and we're going to do a service again on Thanksgiving Day, aren't we?
We're going to do it right. This year, Thanksgiving falls on a Thursday, and so we're going to have a service right here in the sanctuary at 10 a.m. And I always love this service, and it will be online as well. And so I hope that you'll join us. We got lots of great music planned, and it'll be a time of gratitude.
It'll be a special day. Our own Reverend Linda Rangel as well will be here Wednesday, continuing her series on Tripping Upwards. Dr. Michelle, what's this cruise about?
Oh, it's a wonderful European cruise. We're starting in Barcelona and ending in Venice, and many stops in Europe in between, about 100-mile hires in April into May. So we are sure that COVID will be falling away from our experience, and we'll be able to travel openly. And so if you'd like to join us, talk to me, talk to Dr. Kent, talk to Reverend Carol. We'd be happy to help you learn how you can join us for this wonderful trip.
Thank you, Michelle. Take us home, Barry.
Okay, I would ask you right now to stand for the benediction and the peace song. And jump to center, everybody, right now. Fall into your hearts. I give thanks for this time today, for this blessed joy that we feel in our hearts right now. We take it with us out into the world. We live in that center. We are connected with the living Spirit. Life is good, and so it is. Amen.